My name is Hannah Nabalski, and I am studying cardiovascular sonography. I want to say hello to my boyfriend Alex, my mom, his parents, and my siblings that were able to attend, who were coming from out of state. It means so much to me, so thank you for taking the time to come and celebrate with me.
I'm Giovanni Ortiz, and I'm going to be studying in business. I'm going to get a bachelor's in business management. Saying hi to my sister, Stephanie, my parents, Maria and Omar, and then my grandparents and my aunts and uncles.
My name is Kendra Landback, and I am in welding technology right now. Hi to mom and dad, hi to my brother Jacob, and hello to my wonderful boyfriend Caden.
All right, Jad Ramadan, and I am studying business. I want to say hi to my mom, my dad, my brother, my girlfriend Lexi, and my counselor, Miss Downer. Shout out to you.
My name is Amani Parrish. I have studied pre-criminal justice here at JRCC. My mom especially, dad, my son, and my grandma, aunt, the whole family pretty much, they all helped me through it.
Emma Sieber in radiology technology. I guess my family. So I guess my mom. It's a good one.
My name is Lydia Peebles, and I'm also in radiology technology. Hey, look, Ma, I made it.
My name's Alan Jafic, and I'm in the radiologic technologist program at JRCC. Shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother. I don't know who else I'm going to be inviting, but yeah, at least them three.
Okay, my name is Edna Kano, and I'm going to be a radiologic technologist. My mom, my wife, and my siblings, for all their support.
My name is Tiffany Matthias. I studied radiology technology. My parents, my sisters, my nieces and nephews.
My name is Hannah Nabalski, and I am studying cardiovascular sonography. I want to say hello to my boyfriend Alex, my mom, his parents, and my siblings that were able to attend who were coming from out of state. It means so much to me, so thank you for taking the time to come and celebrate with me.
I'm Giovanni Ortiz, and I'm going to be studying in business. I'm going to get a bachelor's in business management. Say hi to my sister Stephanie, my parents, Maria and Omar, and then my grandparents and my aunts and uncles.
My name is Kendra Landback, and I am in welding technology right now. Hi to mom and dad, hi to my brother Jacob, and hello to my wonderful boyfriend Caden.
All right, Jad Ramadan, and I am studying business. I want to say hi to my mom, my dad, my brother, my girlfriend Lexi, and my counselor, Miss Downer. Shout out to you.
My name is Amani Parrish. I have studied pre-criminal justice here at GRCC. My mom especially, dad, my son, and my grandma, aunt, the whole family pretty much, they all helped me through it.
Emma Sieber in radiology technology. I guess my family. So I guess my mom. It's a good one.
My name is Lydia Peebles, and I'm also in radiology technology. Hey, look, Ma, I made it.
My name's Alan Jaffic, and I'm in the radiologic technologist program at JRCC. Shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother. I don't know who else I'm going to be inviting, but yeah, at least them three.
Okay, my name is Edna Keynote, and I'm going to be a radiologic technologist. My mom, my wife, and my siblings, for all their support.
My name is Tiffany Matthias. I studied radiology technology.
The 2022 graduation ceremony will begin in just a few minutes. We advise you to please find yourself a seat. We'll get started shortly. Live from the beautiful campus of Grand Rapids Community College in downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan, we welcome you to the 105th Commencement Ceremony. Today, we are celebrating the GRCC graduates with a special in-person and virtual commencement ceremony. We begin by welcoming the Muskegon Region Police Pipes and Drums. Following them is our dais, including the president of Grand Rapids Community College, the Faculty Association president, members of the Grand Rapids Community College Board of Trustees, the provost, the interim dean of the School of Workforce Development, and tonight's keynote speaker. Now, please welcome the Grand Rapids Community College graduating class of 2022. And now also please welcome the faculty of Grand Rapids Community College, led by their respective deans and associate deans. As you take your seats, please welcome the president of Grand Rapids Community College, Dr. Bill Pink.
Well, good evening. All right, so I'm going to give you one more chance on that. And I have to look at you as graduates when I say that, because we're going to feed off you tonight, because this is all about you tonight. So we're going to try it again. Good evening. Good job. Now, you folks, you likely have someone in this room that you are here for tonight. I would think so. I thought so. So I've got to have even more energy from you tonight, because I'm thinking, if you're anything like me, you are very proud of these people sitting in front of me right now. You're welcome. Yeah, we're going to get this done. This is going to be a party tonight, friends. I don't know about you. So I have to say this at the onset. This, for me, is so fitting to spend my last commencement at GRCC with you and with you. Because 7 years ago when I came to GRCC, my first role here was Vice President and Dean of the School of Workforce Development. Yeah, that's right. And so for me to now be transitioning to another institution north of here, Ferris State University, as their next leader, that is so important to me, to spend this last commencement with you, because you are what brought me here. And you, not that the one that we had earlier today, not that that doesn't mean anything to me, but you guys are a bit special to me tonight. So we're going to get this done together, all right? We're celebrating. So welcome to this year's 2022 Grand Rapids Community College commencement ceremony. You are our second commencement of this year, this being the 105th ceremony of commencement for this great institution. The academic year, this year, we have over 1,300 graduates who are receiving certificates and degrees this very week. And those degrees range from psychology to automotive technology. And today we have over 400 of you, either here in person or even virtually, who are walking and claiming your degree. And so congratulations to you. You know, in 105 years, with this being the oldest community college in the state of Michigan, and in 105 years since we were founded as the first in 1914, there are a lot of things that have changed. I mean, that first class was 49 students studying topics from biology to Latin to mathematics. But as many things have changed, there are also some things that remain the same as far as this institution is concerned. We are still an institution committed to fostering not only the academic growth and success of our students, but we also are focused on the success of you in your life to come once you leave this place. Tonight, we get to celebrate you. In addition to recognizing your accomplishments, we will also recognize some other individuals that we will be honoring tonight through video presentation, who have done incredible things for this institution and for this community. And so we'll be honoring them as well. Would you please at this time join me in showing appreciation for the Muskegon Regional Police pipes and drums that performed earlier, as well as some of the GRCC instrumental and vocal folks who will perform tonight. They indeed do an excellent job. And at this time, I'd like to ask everyone, if you would, and if you're able, please stand as we have a singing of the national anthem, which tonight will be performed by a GRCC music student, Anastasia Fiorenzo. Anastasia, we look forward to your rendition of this national anthem. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's the second time today that Anastasia has done a magnificent job on the anthem. Please give her one more round of applause. At this time, I'm going to ask that you join me in a moment of silence so that each of us in our own way can express our appreciation for the bright future that is in store for these graduates and all the things that they will do going forward from GRCC. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. So at this time, I want to introduce to you the individuals who are sitting behind me, those who are on the stage. I will ask you as I introduce them to hold your applause till I finish that section of folks on the stage. I'll also ask them as I call their name to please stand. From our Board of Trustees, Mr. Kenyatta Brame, our Vice Chairperson of the Board of Trustees. He serves as Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer for Cascade Engineering. And Ms. Cheryl Siegel. Mrs. Siegel is our treasurer, and she is also Board President for Wellsprings Preparatory High School. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our Board of Trustee members this evening. Now let me introduce to you the rest of the folks who are on stage this evening. Dr. Brian Connettle, our Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs. Julie Parks, our Interim Dean for the School of Workforce Development. Dr. Frank Connor, Psychology Department Professor and Faculty Association President. And Birgit Close, former President and CEO of The Right Place, and she is tonight's keynote speaker. Please give a warm welcome to the rest of our dais. So I'll tell you also to note the fact that when you hear names of our graduates tonight, after we acknowledge those who are present, we also tonight, this graduation, this commencement ceremony is also being live streamed, and many of our graduates are also joining us virtually, and so we will recognize them at the appropriate time during our ceremony today. And also I want to recognize all of you, parents, family, friends, who came out to support your graduate. What an awesome thing for you to make the time, not just tonight, but all the time that you have made throughout this time that these graduates have been working and working and working so hard. Whether it be how you helped out with kids, whether you just gave them an encouragement, whatever that was, you mean a lot in being here tonight, because my suspicion is that you've been there for a long time encouraging them. Graduates, I'm going to give you a moment to thank those family and friends who are here tonight. Now it's my pleasure to introduce again Provost Dr. Brian Connettle to the podium to recognize the first award recipient, our Faculty Emeritus Award. Dr. Connettle.
Thank you, Dr. Pink. It's my pleasure to introduce our Faculty Emeritus Award recipient. In 1991, Paul Krieger landed his dream job, biology professor at Grand Rapids Community College. He spent decades teaching courses in anatomy, physiology, general biology, and personal health, while watching with pride as his students went on to careers in nursing, dental hygiene, respiratory therapy, physical therapy, physician assistant, occupational therapy, medicine, and others. Professor Krieger knows the satisfaction that comes from finding what you are meant to do. He found a way to combine his passions for art and science while a student at Grand Rapids Junior College. After earning his associate's degree in 1984, he received a bachelor degree in biology from the University of Michigan and a secondary teaching certificate. He went on to earn a master's degree in biological sciences from Wayne State University in 1991. He began his teaching career in high schools in Jackson, Michigan, and China before returning to GRCC, where he worked for 28 years. He retired from the college in 2019. Professor Krieger is the author and illustrator of the 4-book Visual Analogy Guide series, which covers anatomy, physiology, and chemistry. As we celebrate Paul Krieger, please join me in watching this video tribute.
Paul deserves to be named emeritus because he really cares about students. He was very concerned about what the students learned, what they were going to do with their education, and that really makes him a complete teacher.
He brought me on, and I was fairly new to teaching. I'd only been teaching for about 3 years, and he not only mentored me and would check in on me and share materials and was super collaborative, but he also didn't treat me that I was new to the field. He also listened to me and wanted to share my ideas and hear what I was doing, and thought that I had value to add.
Paul's always had a love for science and art and education, and he is a natural artist.
I've always been a real visual learner, and I think it makes me very keenly aware of all visual learners and how important visuals are in science and probably every discipline besides science.
He's always been super innovative in the field. He has written this whole series of visual analogy to anatomy and physiology and chemistry, and he takes these just everyday ideas and ways to relate to these very difficult concepts, and he's given these tangible ways for students to remember them.
You are an educator before you start your career as a teacher, a professor, and when you retire, that doesn't just turn off.
I think it's important to remember folks like this because they've left such a mark on our lives as colleagues and the students' lives that they continue to leave their mark. And so he may not be here teaching with us, but he's still leaving his mark on the work that we do as educators and how that will affect the students that we teach.
It is my great pleasure to bestow the 2022 Faculty Emeritus Award to Professor Paul Krieger. Please join me again in congratulating him. And now President Pink will introduce our Distinguished Alumni Award honoree.
Graduates, when this award that we're about to make known to you this evening, the Distinguished Alumni Award, it basically is one of it's the highest award given by GRCC to an alumni. And for us to give this is such an important exercise for us every year. But what I think is so neat about it for you is that my hope is one day some of you will be recognized in the same way. And when I read to you and when you see the video of this year's award recipient, you will know the caliber of people that have gone through the same doors that you've gone through this institution. I want to introduce to you, and you'll see a video as well, I want to tell you a little bit about a gentleman named Lloyd Weiner. Lloyd started working on engineering projects around the world, started his own company, and served as an expert witness in building failure and liability cases. Weiner graduated from what was then Grand Rapids Junior College in 1949. He then went on to earn a bachelor's and a master's degree in civil engineering from Michigan State University. After serving in the Navy on the USS Ticonderoga, he joined J&G Daverman Company. His engineering work took him across the United States and also to many countries. One of his most memorable projects was designing the original runways and taxiways for the Gerald R. Ford International Airport right here in Grand Rapids. And he still checks up on them every time he flies out of the airport. In 1969, he co-founded Grand Rapids Testing Service and Neuhoff & Weiner Incorporated. He helped design buildings for Herman Miller, for Amway, and foundries in Newaygo, Ionia, and Mexico. After selling his share of businesses to his partner, Paul Neuhoff, he worked for insurance agencies, reviewing building liabilities and often testifying in court. Weiner and his wife, Suzanne, who passed away in 2018, established the Lloyd and Susan Weiner Scholarship through the GRCC Foundation. That fund targets students enrolled in STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and math at GRCC. Lloyd Weiner has also served on boards for the Salvation Army, Pilgrim Manor, IKUS, and The Dwelling Place. Please join me in watching this tribute and learn more about this incredible man, Lloyd Weiner.
I went to South High School, and I needed extra credits to graduate with my class because I hadn't done very well. And then I applied at Michigan Bell for a job, and they said if I had 2 years of college, they would consider hiring me, but not the way I was. And so I decided to go to junior college and get it. I continued, and as I progressed, I wanted to be an engineer, and as I progressed, I kept doing better and better. I decided, well, I don't think I'll quit here, I'll go on to Michigan State. The senior year in January, the Navy came looking for officer candidates. And I applied, and they said they'd notify me. Well, it came June, I graduated, and I hadn't heard from them. And the draft board says, okay, now you can come with us. And then I was trying to decide what to do, and my father says, well, Jerry Ford's in town. He was our new representative at the time. And I went down there to talk to him, and he said he could send a telegram, and the next day he'd get a response, so I'd know. So I went back the next day, and he had my telegram that said I'd been accepted in what class, and he signed it, and I took it over to the draft board, and they said, okay. Yeah, I came to work for an engineering firm here in town, in architectural and engineering. And they had gotten a job to do the airport. And they were speaking to my boss behind me and said they wanted him to be in charge of designing the runways and taxiways. And he said, no, he didn't want it. So I turned around and said, I'll do it. And they said, well, how do you know? And I said, well, I've been an all-weather air controller, and I know what it's all about, and I can design it. Well, they said, okay. So I designed the runways and taxiways for the airport. Yeah, I go out there to the airport viewing area and watch the planes come and go. I do that quite often. It's nice to watch it. Well, the one thing I think is important to everyone is no matter where you are right now, whatever your desires are, you can do it. You just have to apply yourself and work hard. Sometimes it's not easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, join me in a round of applause as we congratulate our distinguished alumni, Lloyd Weiner. So back in 2015, when my family and I were still living in the state of Oklahoma, and right after we saw that there was this position of Vice President of Workforce Development, actually it was the provost position at that point, at this Grand Rapids Community College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I became interested in that job and we applied for it and ended up coming to Michigan to this institution. Right before I made the trip from Oklahoma to here, I was talking to a friend of mine there in Oklahoma City. And my friend, she was one of our local economic developers there in the state of, one of our best in the state of Oklahoma. And when she found out that I was coming to Grand Rapids Community College, she told me, she said, you know what? She said, Bill, there's this economic developer there in Grand Rapids, and she is a go-getter. And she is one of the best in the country, if not one of the best globally, at workforce development. And she's been there for a long time. You need to get to know her. So once we moved to Grand Rapids and once we got settled into this institution, into the work, is when I met Birgit Close. Birgit was the exact individual that my friend in Oklahoma was telling me about. This economic developer who had done so much for West Michigan and for the state of Michigan and really across the country. So I had to get to know her. And I will tell you, in the 7 years that I've been here in Grand Rapids, she has not only gained my admiration and respect, but she also is an individual I consider a close friend. Let me tell you a little bit about Birgit. She's the former president and CEO of The Right Place, which is our local economic development office here in West Michigan, in Grand Rapids. And under her leadership of The Right Place, they created or retained more than 50,000 jobs and stimulated more than $5 billion in new investment in West Michigan. Among the projects that she worked on was to open Michigan State University's College of Human Medicine and the creation of what we know today as the Manufacturers Council. Since stepping down from The Right Place in 2021, where she had worked since 1987, Close has served as director for the New Community Transformation Fund, a venture fund she co-founded for entrepreneurs of color. She also serves on the International Crossing, the Gerald R. Ford Airport, and Kent County Grand Rapids Convention Area Authorities, and on boards of Macatawa Bank, ADAC Automotive, and Priority Health. Birgit is a native of Germany. She graduated from Western Michigan University as well as the University of Oklahoma's Economic Development Institute. She also completed the National Development Council's Economic Development Finance Program, and she also attended Harvard University's Executive Management Program. She has an honorary doctorate in business from Davenport University, and as I mentioned to you, she's a close friend of mine, and I encourage you to hear what she has to say this evening. Our keynote speaker, Birgit Close.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill, that's what we call him. He is a wonderful man, and I'm really appreciative of you, Bill. And I am so appreciative of being here with you tonight. And congratulations to all of you. You made it. It's also a privilege to be with the people that have supported you on this journey and who've had a tremendous impact on your life, your friends, your family, your professors, who have supported you through this journey while you pursued your education. Congratulations to all of you, because this is your day too. It's been a privilege to work with Dr. Pink since he's come to Grand Rapids from Oklahoma. He's a visionary leader, and he and the community college were huge and continue to be huge partners in workforce development with the organization that I had the privilege to lead for 33 years. It's all about partnership, and he knows how to be a partner. And while he's leaving the community college to go to Ferris State, somebody was going to boo me when I said this, he will still be in the region, he will still remain in West Michigan, and to share his gifts with us going forward. So congratulations, not getting out of lunch. So, as I said, the community college has been and continues to be a critical institution for higher education in West Michigan. This urban campus is part of the fabric of this city and has been an important part of the culture of this city and the revitalization that we've experienced over the last many years. But I also want to congratulate the college for reaching out to the Lakeshore and bringing those gifts to students on the Lakeshore. Community colleges are often the first step in higher education, in continued education, and in lifelong learning. And it was that for me. As Bill said, I'm an immigrant. I came here as a young woman from Germany, knowing very little about the United States except what I saw in the movies. And I knew even less about your education system. It's very different where I was born and raised. And like many of you, I assume, you are the first in your family to go to college. I was the first in my family to go to college. My parents were 16 years old when World War II ended. And if you want to know what that looked like, if you look at the cities in Ukraine today, that's what my hometown looked like in 1945. So they didn't have a chance to go to college. They had to go to work because they had to support their families. So when I left high school, college was not on my radar at all. I apprenticed. I apprenticed in retail management at a large store in my hometown, and I finished my apprenticeship. Apprenticeships in Germany are not just manufacturing apprenticeships, but they go across different lines of business. But when I came here with that apprenticeship, people really didn't understand what I had done or how I could use it. In fact, apprenticeships weren't really something that outside of manufacturing maybe people even knew what it was. But I had to work, and I wanted to work. And so I really didn't know what to do until somebody suggested, and at the time I was living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to check out a community college, Kirkwood Community College. I was pretty intimidated because going to college was really not on my radar screen. But they took me, and I took a year-long program in office management. I still type 80 words a minute. So the skills I learned all those years back in that community college are still coming in handy today. And it changed my life. It changed my life. While my parents could not go to further their education, they always encouraged that we would further our education, that we would read and further ourselves. And so while I was going to Kirkwood, they also gave me a job so I could actually support the tuition. And after graduation, I moved to Lansing and applied for a job. And I got a job in a bank, which would have never been possible without that certificate I got at Kirkwood. And I worked in human resources. And a few years later, my life changed again when I moved to Benton Harbor, St. Joe. And I got my first job with an economic development organization called the Berrien County Economic Development Corporation. And I managed a workforce development program for on-the-job training. And the trajectory of my life changed completely. I didn't even know there was such a thing as economic development. I had no idea what it was. And I fell in love with it. Helping people better their lives. What more could you ask? But I also knew that if I wanted a career in that field, everybody there had more education than I did. But I also had to work. So I enrolled at Lake Michigan College, another community college. So I'm a graduate of 2 community colleges, not just one. And after graduating from LMC, I transferred to Western Michigan University, which offered classes on campus, and eventually I started commuting to Kalamazoo. And like many of you, I assume, I was a non-traditional student because I had to work. I had to work to support myself and to go to school. And after graduating, I continued my career in economic development and eventually landed here in Grand Rapids. And for 33 fabulous years was the CEO of The Right Place. Never would I have had those opportunities without my education that started at 2 community colleges. Along the journey, I had people who supported me, encouraged me, mentored me, inspired me, corrected me, and advised me. They taught me many things, how to be a leader professionally and a leader in this community. So why am I sharing all this with you? You're like, well, I'm sharing that with you because there's a thread that goes through my story, and that thread is education. Without the education I had at Kirkwood and LMC and Western, I would not be standing in front of you today. And it's the key to my success in my journey, and it'll be the key to your success in your journey. Because what you're getting today when you're getting that diploma, they're giving you a key. They're giving you a key to a room that you would never enter if you didn't have that diploma. What you do with the key in that room is up to you. You get to furnish it, but without it, you don't even have a chance. The good news is that if you have an education and you're willing to work, this is a phenomenal time to be in this community and to get a job. Career opportunities abound. There isn't an employer, and there are some on this dais and in the audience, that's not looking for talent. Talent is the driver, period. Businesses can't hire talent fast enough, and there are positions available in about every field. When I was still CEO of the right place, every business I walked into, and my question was, how can I help you? Find me good people, first thing. Talent drives economic development, and it drives the health of our communities, period. Communities that retain people like you will thrive, they will grow, they will be healthy. They're the community of the future because of talent like you. We need you. It makes you the future, really, if you think about it. And as Bill said earlier, we need you to be successful so that this region can continue to be successful. Because what is a region but the subtotal of the people who live here and work here and make a life here? So what path does that set you on? Well, it's a path that you're starting today and that you determine. Don't worry about roadblocks, because there will be some. Life is not a straight line. But when you do bump into roadblocks, it's how you handle them, what you make of them, and what you learn from them. Make course adjustments and continue to learn. So this is something else I want to share with you. Through all my years in my economic development career, I never stopped learning. From peers, from continued education, from my leadership on my board. And so you will need to be a lifelong learner. And I'm seeing you saying, like, I'm getting this certificate, I'm getting this degree, I'm done here today, and she's telling me I gotta be a lifelong learner. Well, you're going to be, because it's critical that you recognize what you're getting today is the beginning, not the end. And so commit to continuously learning, because the incredible rapidity of technology and change absolutely requires it. Most of you, I don't have my phone with me, but most of you, particularly the graduates, have never lived without your Apple or Samsung phone, or your laptop, or that refrigerator that tells you the milk is running low, right? But when I first moved to the United States, I still had a dial-up phone, and I had to call AT&T to go talk to my mother. So now you kind of know how old I am. But when I was talking to my mom, and I was very homesick, I stood by the phone and I thought, I wish somebody would invent a phone that had a screen like a TV, and I could actually see my mom. Well, as you all know, somebody did. It's called FaceTime, right? So today, for those of you whose parents live elsewhere, it's not so difficult to see your family. But I couldn't. So we continue to see huge changes brought about by technology and how our life is impacted by technology. And the change is very rapid and is going to continue. But there's also huge opportunities in the kind of careers that you can all have with the technology changes, whether it's electric vehicles or how those vehicles are made. Because what's a car today? but a computer on 4 wheels, right? That's all it really is. So General Eric Shinseki said something like this: if you don't like change, you will like irrelevance even less. And who wants to be irrelevant? Nobody. So embrace those changes and embrace lifelong learning. It's for you to have a better life. But today, you're going on a journey, and we celebrate you and your success. All of us in this room congratulate you and support you. And I have to tell you that I am thrilled to be here with you, to see all of your faces and know that you will go forth in this community and do really great things. You have accomplished a lot. These last 2 years have been difficult. You finished your education during a pandemic. During a pandemic, when most of us worked remotely if we could. During a pandemic, these have been really tough years, but you did it. It speaks to your resilience, your determination, your dedication, and your desire to succeed. That's the kind of people companies are looking for. That kind of an attitude is what we need in this community. So now, equipped with the education you received here and the knowledge you have received here at Grand Rapids Community College, go out, be successful, make a living, but more importantly, make a life. Congratulations, and thank you.
Would you give me one more round of applause for Birgit Close? Birgit, thank you for those words of encouragement. All right, graduates, guess what? It's time. It's time for us to rock. It is time for you to actually join tens of thousands of other people who are GRCC graduates who live across the state, across the city, across the country, and around the world. And you are joining those thousands and thousands. Congratulations on that. We're going to support you. We're going to help you. We're going to get through this part of your journey, and we're going to celebrate you tonight. I want to explain to you a few things to our guests of what you're seeing on some of our graduates before Provost Knettel and our Dean Julie Parks come before us. Let me explain to you some of the colors that you see on our graduates this evening. So you will see some students who are wearing gold ribbons with gold medallions. Those students are members of Delta Pi Alpha who graduate this evening in the top 5% of the graduating class. Yeah, that's a big deal. Also, students wearing a blue ribbon with a medallion are members of Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society. They've earned a GPA of 3.3 or better. Students wearing blue and gold cords are members of our honors, GRCC Honors Program. Students wearing red, white, and blue cords are being honored for their service to our country. Would you please give them a round of applause? You will also note that some students are wearing purple and white cords. They are members of the Grand Rapids Promise Zone. The Promise Zone ensures that all students who live within the boundaries of the city of Grand Rapids and graduate from one of the 25 public charter or private high schools located within the city of Grand Rapids, they actually have free access to earn an associate degree or job training certificate from GRCC. Those students are the ones who, when they hit the 12th grade, you started, those of you who are in the middle college, you started, or the Promise Zone, you were some of our first students through that Promise Zone. And to have you and to celebrate you as that first class of Promise Zone graduates is an honor for us tonight. You also have students wearing blue and white cords, which are members of the middle college program. Our middle college program here at GRCC is a partnership between several public schools that allow students to actually as they start their high school career around 9th, 10th grade, those middle college students, they start that grade and they also start classes with us, GRCC. 11th grade, they're taking more college classes with their high school classes. Hit 12th grade, and they're still taking college classes, more of those college classes with their high school classes. After they finish that 12th grade and some of their friends are going off to college and saying bye, those middle college students stay for a 13th year. And they take a couple of high school classes and a whole lot of community college classes. At the end of that 13th year, which is right now, those middle college students graduate with a high school diploma and an associate degree. And guess how much money they pay for that? Zero. Tuition paid. They are done with their associate degree. Very proud of our middle college students, very proud of our middle college partners, high school partners, who believe in that mission and make a way for those students. So we honor you tonight as graduates as well. Now please welcome Provost Keynote, who will be conferring the certificates and degrees this evening.
Will the marshals now present the candidates who will be graduating with an Associate of Arts, Associate of Applied Arts and Sciences, Associate of Business, Associate of Fine Arts, Associate of General Studies, Associate of Music, Associate of Nursing, Associate of Science, and certificate programs. Dean Parks will present the candidates.
Kendra E. Landback. Alondra Elzatri Meha. Sorry. Zola L. Herrera Zazar. Christina A. Lundquist. Roberto Rosales. Tanea Cherie Shepard. Morgan F. Werner. Corey L. Borsing. Tyson B. Thomas. Colin G. Kramer. Ashley Vandenberg. Stephanie Nicole Lothschutz. Danielle Bagan. Olivia K. Pilzuk. Close. Grace Michelle Ritzema. Anderson Renee Stallings. Bryce Hudson. Devin Excel Whitby. Lorena L. Campos. Hernan J. Burgett. Carson J. McSorley. Michael R. Smith. Stephen C. Weaver. Doug Casbon. Amy Kilone. Karsten J. Bader Van Dyke. Aaron Lee Windemuller. Danae Van Overloop. Anna Catherine DeYoung. Stephen Hazard. Matthew David Cross. Matthew Immick. Knock Lee. Chelsea M. DeLeon Lopez. Natasha Sarchik. Thank you. Marissa N. Hammond. Andrea Sanchez. Jasmine A. Jaimes de la Rosa. Jamie Sue Kroskoff. Jada Nicole Spitzley, sorry. Shania Dean Copeland. Tyler Franks. Shayna Marie Haynes Hurd. Hansel Langford. Kelvin Francisco Cruz Carrillo. Adam Timothy Cook. Kenyon Lane Cotton. Clay Patrick Fenema. Matt Wilkinson. Emily Young. Nathan King. Elena Grace Hager. Cassie Lockwood. Taylor M. Barr. Rachel Lynn Hill. Honoria Campa. Blanca Isabel Lopez. Julia L. Alvarez. Jerome O'Marley Robinson. Dayton Friend. Fartun Alamayu. Deborah Jo Davis. Daniel Cisneros. Lizette Aguilar. Manuel Alejandro Ibarra Trejo. Nathan Thomas Van Hoven. Mohammed O. Yusuf. Payla Rabib Hernandez. Miguel A. Martinez. Nick Joel Germansky. Tanya M. Dyer. Molly Elizabeth Stewart. Angie Schaefer. Lydia Renee Scholheck. Emily E. Smith. Stephen James Exo. Tessa M. Hill. Kendra E. Kelnins. Samantha N. Frayne. Fyan. Samantha Fyan. Casey Virginia Shattuck. Javier Jose Jimenez. Benjamin Thomas Helinski. Jason R. Recknor. Luke Joseph Doyle. Bailey A. Drake. Camden Lewis Clayson. Nicholas Carver. Ashley Lobillo Valtierra. Paige A. Hall. Angel Lynn Ruster. Rachel J. Bowers. Lanaya D. Polk Craig. Alexandria N. Snyder. Finn Kai. Olivia Harriet Rexford. Clifford Suttorp. Devin Banks. Seth Nathaniel Noyes. Christian Williams. Amela Puskar. Jenna A. Rosendahl. Cole Ann Remington. Briella H. Montoya. Giada A. Blair. Alyssa Ann Zimmerman. Ariana Starr. Kyle Walter Stevens. Joel V. Estrada. Dana Latia Curry. Grace Christian Higgins. Abigail E. Wilson. Makaya M. Barbie. Marissa Stevenson. Alexandria Kakuka Webster. Close. Allison Renee Hoop. Gabrielle Sherry Miller. Amber R. Sesney. Derek Scott Engel. Daniela L. Garcia. Ashley Elizabeth Elliott. Cassidy Fong Logay. Ashley Steer. Anthony Guerrero Perez. Daniel Smith. Colin Michael Wooten. Evan D. Naporelski. Amanda Maria Chapman. Jonathan Ryan Chapman. Simone Vieco. Erica Marquez Correa. Kelly Brittany Loyo Perez. Cheryl Ann Martin. Johanna Reyes. Darani Chambers. Jonisha K. Hill. Shakira Unique Edge. Markeisha Shanice Kennedy. Kelly Jackson. Yasmin Pulido Ocha. Kenyona Michelle Hall. Shelby M. Kalinowski. Carrie L. Osborne. Alexis Nicole Wood. Juwan Abdullah Four. Johanna Roa. Myra Kumin. Nicole Drabeck. Sharon E. Shaw. Zachary Bruce Shoemaker. Samantha Slaughter. Katie Jean Bolheis. Tiffany Lynn Matisse. Emma Arlyn Sieber. Morgan M. Saar. Emily Ann Swoboda. Autumn Lee Tomei. Jeremiah Samuel Wartz. Cameron Lynn Jenkins. Fatima Guadalupe Guerrero Calabero. Cindy V. Esparza. Julia Marsha Romo. Desiree Hill. Jessica Lynn Knoll. Khadijah J. Houston Willis. April Markendria Vandervliet. Close. Renee N. Fugit. Aaron Broadway. Justin Duhimbaze. Billy Mangu. Tyler McCarty. Devin Lucy. Keisha Rianne Santa Maria. Allison G. Westra. Eric Wyma. Lydia Ann Peebles. Javari. Alan Javarvich. Sky Devana Thomas. Allison Daniel Klein. Edna Cano. Kyle Lewis Cottrell. Mary E. Davis. Sean Ebel. Mugisha Mansengo. Angelique Osanas. Gentella Mawiza. Angie Oluesa. Prabhpal Kaur. Dewey Danagelis. Kivan Krosky. Gulama. Fatima Gulami. Michelle Marie Agiuru. Natalie N. Floyd. Abigail Louise Bierman. Andrea Dubniak. Vivian Gabriella Lyon. Jasmine Elizabeth Decline. Carly Griswold. Lauren Michelle King. Sarah Lynn Saberi. Thank you. Amber Cook. Grant Gabalis. Marie Elena Trejo Alvarez. Jacqueline Ramos Gonzalez. Grace Welsh. Alyssa Cole. Casey L. Lamore. Magali Kylan Lopez. Nicole Renee Gilman.
Graduates, will you please stand? President Pink, upon the recommendation of the faculty at Grand Rapids Community College, I am honored and privileged to present the candidates for Associate of Arts, Associate of Applied Arts and Sciences, Associate of Business, Associate of Fine Arts, Associate of General Studies, Associate of Music, Associate of Nursing, Associate of Science, and certificate programs.
Provost Canettle, by virtue of the authority vested in me as president of Grand Rapids Community College, the Board of Trustees, and the laws of the state of Michigan, I now confer upon each of you the certificate, degree, and title as they apply to you individually, and cite you as being worthy of all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities that come along with this accomplishment. Graduates, you may now shift your tassel from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the 2022 graduating class of Grand Rapids Community College. Graduates and guests, you may be seated. Graduates, as proud as I am of each of you, the thing I need to leave you with this evening, I mentioned this to our graduates earlier this afternoon, and I need to say this to you as well. So when I think back to my years of coaching basketball, I coached college basketball for several years in the state of Nebraska, Oklahoma, Oregon. And in those basketball coaching years of coaching at the college level, one thing that we would always do in our recruiting, as we recruited players, many times in my recruitment, I would need to get big players, tall players to play inside, to be able to rough around and everything and play inside with all the big boys. And one of the things when we would recruit and look for big players, we would look at high school players and we would look at community college, junior college players. And one thing we would look at is if I was looking for a post player, if I was looking for a big man in the middle, I would always look for someone who knows how to play big. Because not every 6'10", 6'11" basketball player knows how to play big. Sometimes we would find guys who were like 6'3", 6'4", but the way they played so nice inside the post and so good inside that we'd say, boy, he plays like he's about 6'10". The way he plays big. And if you play big, and if the guy was 6'10", 6'11", and if he played big like a monster, just, unstoppable, we say, he's 6'10", and he plays big. And if you play big, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't take a player who was 6'10", didn't want to have a player who was 6'10", but played like he was 6'1", and was kind of shy about doing. That's not what I needed. I needed my players, especially if they're going to play inside, especially if they were going to play an area that I needed them to play strong, I was looking for a guy who could play big. And I'd sit with other coaches and we would talk about guys and we'd say, okay, did you see him play? What did you think about him? Well, coach, he's only 6'4", but my goodness, he plays so big. He plays big. And those were the people that we went after. And when I think about you, and I think about what I really need you to do, after you leave this place and you start thinking about what your next is, I need you to play big. Because you are going to be in situations, whether it be in the workforce, whether it be wherever the situation or the setting is, you're going to need to play big. You're going to need to be that individual that your company or your family or whomever can depend on and know that you're going to always not just meet the expectation, but you're going to rise above the expectation. I need you to play big. Our community needs you to play big. Our state needs you to play big. Birgit mentioned it. We are not going to advance as a state or as a city or as a region if our graduates coming out of this great institution, the best community college that I can tell you about in this country, as you're graduating from the best, we got to have you playing big. Because what you do in this world truly matters. And in the words of the writer Marianne Williamson, your playing small does not help the world. You play small and you don't help us. Because playing small means that you don't reach your potential. And playing small means that you don't rise above your potential. We can't have you playing small. Lord knows in the community and the environment and the climate and all the things that we see right now as far as our country is concerned, and that's not a political statement, that's just a statement of fact. We need you to play big. Your playing small does not help our world. You're graduating from, I believe, the best community college in the country. You are graduating from an institution that we expect you to do great things. And so I look forward to hearing what you will do as you play big in this world. I look forward to the people surrounding you right now being the support system that you need, that you encourage them as they encourage you. But for heaven's sake, don't play small. We can't afford to have you playing small at a time like this. You must play big. And you'll just blow us away with how good work you do. Look forward to seeing and hearing more about you. And I look forward to one day hearing about the fact that that 2022 graduate of GRCC, he or she, they're now a distinguished alumni of that institution. Because you played big. Because we can't afford to have you playing small. At this time, as we end our time together tonight, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. And we will have a playing of the GRCC alma mater. This performance that you'll hear was pre-recorded in advance by our GRCC instrumental and choral ensembles. You will hear the alma mater played, and then our announcer will give you instructions on how we will all exit the building. Thank you so much for an incredible time here at GRCC.
To conclude our 105th commencement, the faculty will honor the graduates in a recession line as they exit the Olivehurst Plaza. Guests, we ask that you remain at your seats while viewing the recessional on the screens. After all the students have exited the building, we invite you to join your graduate outside and our faculty on the plaza. Congratulations again to the class of 2022.